And I hereby call this meeting to order. If everyone would silence their cell phones and take any conversations out behind the the building. Good morning. My name is Kevin Wagner. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for today's hearing. I want to begin by explaining how the process will work. We generally hear the building cases, code cases first on the agenda, and then the city will call the cases as they appear on the agenda. If you've appeared at today's hearing, your case will be called before those where no one has appeared, but that's only true if you've signed in with one of the code officers in the rear of the building. So if you have not done so, please make sure you sign in. Once your case is called, I will ask you to come to the podium on my right-hand side, which is right over there. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You'll have an opportunity to review any of the evidence that the city has presented and to question any of the witnesses that the city has. You'll also have the opportunity to testify and present me with any of your own evidence. Once I have all the evidence and testimony, I will make a ruling. I will enter a written order either today at the hearing or in the next few days, which you will receive a copy of. If you have any questions as we go through the process, please feel free to ask them. This is not a formal courtroom. The formal rules of evidence do not apply here, though although this is not a formal courtroom, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you are going to testify today, or you think that you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'm going to ask that you stand and raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. Anyone that might testify? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida?
Yes, sir.
All right, please be seated, and the city can call their first case.
First case number 26, 421 51st Street, CE 22120215, number 26, 421 51st Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited December
Officer Watkins, you're going to have to do me a favor of speaking a little more firmly into the mic because I don't hear as well as I used to.
All right. This property was cited December the 20th. Certified mail was sent December the 30th. It was returned on March the 6th. City Hall was posted January the 25th. This property was cited for fence maintenance, garbage can placement, restrictions upon use of land, and tree abuse. Complied violations were the tree abuse. Also, it was cited for sod of the swell. This compliant violations were the tree abuse, sodding of the swell, garbage can placement, and fence maintenance. The remaining violations are the restriction upon land use. The city is requesting 200 days, along with the attorney we spoke, 200 days or 150 days, $150 per day after. I spoke with the property owners that are here as well as the attorney in reference to getting the correct zoning information done on it. It was listed as 2 units, and they have it as 3 units when originally it was 1 unit from the green card, which I do have with me. I received this with an email from Ms. Hamilton in Historic Preservation in reference to the property. It was up for sale, and the listing came off Zillow that I also have, and it's attached to my case file.
Thank you very much. Officer Watkins, just a couple of questions. For housekeeping, is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, there is.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes.
And was the notice of violation also posted at the property?
Yes.
Thank you. We've been reviewing some photographs during your testimony. Do those photographs truthfully and accurately depict and represent the observations that you've made of the alleged violation?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. You indicated that you reviewed the green card, you reviewed a listing, and you said that that was Zillow. And was that a listing provided by Ms. Hamilton, or did you access that yourself?
The The actual green card, I accessed it from Mr. Craig and developmental services. The Zillow was attached to the email that I received. I also looked it up myself, and I went through the property appraiser website just to check as well. What they had listed on there didn't match what the Zillow had at the time.
Is it your understanding this is a single family?
Yes, ma'am. It was supposed to be a single family with a playroom and a cabana.
Okay.
And right now it's listed as 3 units.
Very good, thank you. And did you say 200 days or 210?
No, 200 days.
200, very good.
Mhm.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to have Ms. Hamilton come up briefly, and then also Angela Jones come up briefly.
Ann Hamilton, Historic Preservation Planner.
Hi, Anne. Can you just tell us briefly what it is that your involvement in this particular matter?
Yeah, so I received a call, I believe, from a potential buyer on December 19th, inquiring how many units were...
Ma'am, can you speak up just a little bit? Thank you.
Inquiring how many units were legally permitted on the property. I informed her that by referencing the green card and our records on the property, it was only zoned for 1 unit, and there were no legal nonconformities that would indicate that they could have more than the 1 unit. And after looking up the Zillow listing as well, I emailed it to the code officer for that district to alert them of that.
Very good, thank you. At this time, Angela, can you join us for just a moment?
Hi, Angela Van, Planning and Zoning Administrator.
Angela, what, in terms of this particular property that's been brought to your attention, would it be your opinion or testimony that that's accurate, that it's
Well,
supposed
it
to
was
be
brought
just
to my
1
attention
unit?
earlier this week in terms of looking at and seeing actually how many units should be on the property, and based on the research of the green cards, I actually looked at old building permits to see if I can find anything. It appears that it's only a single-family house that I could find building permits for, and it was a building in the back, I guess it's a playroom or in the back, so that's all I found in my research to confirm what Ms. Hamilton found in terms of from the city records that we show as a single-family house and a playroom in the back.
Very good, thank you so much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and all documents relied on, including but not limited to green card, Zillow posting, email communications, permits that were reviewed, and any and all other documents relied on.
Can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, sir. Lainey Francisco with Jones Foster on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Summers.
Do you have any objection to the city putting into evidence the documents that the city attorney just mentioned?
No, sir. No objection. We would just like to note for the record that all but one of the violations has been remedied.
Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. I just want to clear up the case file here. So without objection, I'm going to enter those documents and evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. Does the city have anything further to present?
No.
All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd just like to note for the record that each of the violations, with the exception of 94-6, has been resolved. Code enforcement came out yesterday to take a look, and the property owners have worked diligently to fix all of these issues to the best of their ability. We were having some difficulty understanding 94-6, and this hearing has provided some clarity as to the issue with the units, and we will work within the 200 days that we're requesting to get with the city and try to come to a solution on that issue now that we have some clarity on that.
So let me make sure that I understand. So I also heard that correctly, right? That everything is, at least in this, by the city and the respondent's viewpoint, everything is resolved with the exception of 94-6?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is.
All right, so we can move past that. So the issue with 94-6, if I understand the testimony correctly, is that the city documents show that the property is a 1 unit and it's being advertised as a multi-unit. Is that essentially what our...
Yes, It's a
Or
single
used,
unit, and
okay.
it's being advertised as 3.
And so what the city wants to do is give the respondent 200 days to either amend the land use or to remove the other unit. Is that essentially what the city is asking for here?
Yes.
Is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
And you're agreeable to the 200 days?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right, well, that's relatively easy for me. Okay. In case CE 22120215, I make the following findings of fact and law. I found notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 94-6 to give the property owner 200 days to bring the property into compliance or a fine of up to $150 per day may issue. Thank you both.
Case number 17148 North Robbins Drive, CE 230102226, number 17148 North Robbins Drive.
Good morning, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 148 North Robbins Drive was originally cited on January 24th, 2023. The regular and certified mail was sent out January 25th, 2023. That was returned on March 6th, 2023. Property as well as City Hall was posted on February 3rd, 2023, and an affidavit of posting was prepared and placed in the case file. To date, I've had contact with the owner who's here today. They were originally cited for 18106K for landscape maintenance, sod for 94442C-1 for sod needed in the front yard from where the vehicles had been parking on the grass and the sod had subsequently died. 94482A for parking requirements for them parking on the front lawn, as you see in the pictures there, on the grass and not on the paved surfaces of the property, as well as 9471-C for outdoor storage. You see the tires and various bricks and items stored outside of the property on the home. To date, the homeowner has applied for a driveway permit to extend the driveway to give him more of a paved surface to drive on. But as of this morning, all violations are still present on the property. So the city is requesting 90 days to bring the property into compliance or a $100 a day fine thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Thank you very much. Officer Williams, just a couple of questions. The photographs that we're reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations you've observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that 90 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring these alleged violations into compliance?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon in the case file.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Everton Morrison?
And you're the owner of the property, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objections to any of the city's documents that they would like to put into evidence?
The tire were removed.
I'll let you explain. I just want to know if you object to their documents.
No.
Okay. Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. Does the city have anything further to present?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Morrison,
Yes.
go ahead. Tell me what's going on.
Well, right now, as you can see, my driveway, I only have a 2-car park garage. Just purchased the home, and I'm doing renovation. I applied for a permit for the driveway to the extent where the bricks are. Those are the bricks I'm going to use at the front. And so right now, I have just enough, but I need more. But I don't have the money to purchase all the bricks. So where I live, my house is on the curve, so I can park like other persons in the community on the side. So I have no option right now than where my car is.
Well, the city wants to give you 90 days. Is that a sufficient amount of time to bring this into compliance?
It's not all of the comply.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Not all. Some, yes. 90 days.
How much time do you need?
I say about 120 days, 140 days.
What's the city's position on his request for 120 days?
I have no objection to that.
I'll give you the 120, but you got to get this done, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
In case CE 230102226, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of the listed code sections specifically land maintenance, landscaping, and parking requirements. I give the respondent 120 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. It's important, sir, that when you get this into compliance, that you let the code officer know so he can comply you, because otherwise, if he doesn't know, the fine will happen, okay?
Okay,
All right, so keep in touch with the code officer and let him know your progress, all right?
okay, thank you.
All right.
Here's a copy of your order. Okay, that's all we have for contested matters at this time.
Just two? Really?
Next,
All right.
number 13501 South Dixie Highway, CE 23020209.
Good morning, John Frosco, West Palm Beach Code. This property was cited for no business tax receipt, 2 entities, and certificate of use, and the fees that needed to be paid, they were due to the city. The property was cited on February 17th of 2023, and the property was posted, and City Hall was posted on February 17th, 2023. So, Dunkin' Donuts, that's where this is. There's 2 entities here. There's the Dunkin' Donuts business, and then there's the entity that actually rents the building to Dunkin' Donuts. So, I got in contact with the actual business, and they paid all the fees up. They followed the city's requirements. They removed all the portable signs immediately, the banners and the snipe signs. And the only thing that's left is the Dussault Myrna J. Trust. They don't have a commercial business tax receipt, which doesn't require a certificate of use.
So just 82-144, is that the only section?
Yes, sir, that's the only thing that's outstanding.
Have you been in contact with, I'm sorry,
No, I've tried. That's the rub for this, is that, you know, in their business tax receipt, they have an email and they have a phone number. The phone number is no good, the email is no good, and I've even tried to go through the actual corporate for the Dunkin' Donuts there to try to get a hold of this the Dussault Myrna Trust LLC, and I have not been able to do it.
They gotta be registered with the state of Florida. Do they have contact information through the online Sunshine?
I've tried every avenue I could to get a hold of them, because it's just, I think, 7234. And I think the city's position would be that we would ask...
The business can't help you. They gotta be paying their rent to somebody, right?
Right. We can only ask for a $250 flat fine for this. So what I was thinking that if the magistrate's order goes out, I'll give you 30 days to pay the $72.34. They might get your order and say, oh, okay, we'll take care of it since there's an order. And if not, then the $250 a day.
Okay. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead of you.
Thank you. Officer Frasca, a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, there is.
And you testified that the notice of violation, was that sent then to 2 different places? Or one place?
It was sent to Myrna Trust. I didn't have the contact information other than the business that was there.
Okay. And was the notice of violation sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, it was.
And so, but the actual Dunkin' Donuts was posted?
Yes.
And then where was the posting for the Dussault Myrna Trust? Was that also at Dunkin' Donuts?
It was all together in one posting. That morning, I went to the property, posted that, and then posted City Hall that afternoon.
Okay. We're actually looking at a photo of posting. Is that an accurate photograph of the posting of this notice of violation for this business, Dunkin' Donuts, at 3501 South Dixie?
Correct.
Okay, and you testified for 30 days to pay the $72.34 outstanding, and then a one-time fine of $250 if not paid within that time. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay, thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, all documents relied upon, and photographs.
All right, without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. So what you're seeking here So when you sent the notice to the trust, you sent it to the address that was listed on the property appraiser's records, right?
Right, and I checked with, it was all the same.
Okay.
Sunbiz was all the same, and the address that they put in, for their commercial business tax was the same.
Sounds like you did everything you humanly could do. All right, in case CE 230200209, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 82-144. I give the respondent 30 days to pay their business tax receipt, or a fine of $250 shall issue.
Thank you.
Number 2, 1340 Longwood Street, CE 230200011.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 1340 Longwood Street was initially cited on 2/2/23. Certified mail was sent on 2/2/23. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 2/3/23. The property was cited for 86-226, parking onto the swell areas, 94-487-B-1. Removal of a prohibited vehicle, more specifically, a bus being parked in the rear of the property, also has been maintained there for quite some time now. 94-71-C, outdoor storage. There's a substantial amount of outdoor storage in public view, more specifically around the carport area, and there's some wood that's actually leaning onto the fence on the outside of the fence in public view. Have not spoken with the owners of the property. I had actually cited this property probably a little bit more than a year ago with regard to some of the same violations, the outdoor storage. They did come into compliance when they were cited previously. We have the same situations. So in light of that, the city is requesting 14 days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed. In driving by the property on last evening, 86-226 had complied. I noted that the Toyota Camry had been removed from the swell, and now they are, well, at least on last evening, it was parked in the apron of the driveway.
Thank you, Officer Williams. Just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, there is.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, it does.
The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you observed at the property?
They do.
Given your pre-hearing inspection yesterday, you said that the Toyota Camry is no longer parking in the parkway or swale. Are you seeking any type of a finding of fact?
Yes.
Okay. What was the date or deadline in the notice of violation that they were expected to bring that into compliance? They obviously must have gone past that. That is the subject or support for your finding of fact.
I actually don't have that.
It's okay. We've got it up here.
Okay.
Right there. Stop, please.
Let's see. Yeah, they were supposed to bring it into compliance by the 14th.
February 14th.
February 14th.
Okay. And other than your pre-hearing inspection, did you necessarily observe the parking on the swale or parkway after February 14th?
Yes, I did.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And have you seen any other progress with the outdoor storage?
None at all.
Okay.
If anything, it seems like it's getting a little bit worse.
Okay, and just for the record, that bus, is it still there? Has it moved?
The bus is still there. That's a new one, kind of out of the clear blue, but yeah, nevertheless, it's there.
All right, thank you so much. And do you believe 14 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring these alleged violations into compliance?
Well, in my view, in light of the fact that the property was cited February 2nd initially, I think they've been given a pretty substantial amount of time in order to comply.
Okay, but 14 days is to remove the storage?
Yes.
Is that reasonable? And 14 days to drive the bus out, is that reasonable?
In my view, yes.
Very good, thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence of city's composite Exhibit 1. All right, so you're looking for a finding of fact on 86226 because the parking in the swale continued after the compliance date, but has since come into compliance.
That is correct.
Okay. And as to 9447B1 and 9471C, the bus and the outdoor storage, those, according, if I understand your testimony correctly, those things are still happening as of today.
Yes.
All right, so you're seeking 14 days or $500? That's what I wrote down.
$100.
$100. All right, in case CE 230200011, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 86226, parking a car in the city swale. That has since come into compliance, but after the required compliance date. I find the property in violation of 94487B1 and 9471C, a prohibited vehicle in the form of a bus on the property, and outdoor storage and other materials being stored outdoors in public view. I give the respondent 14 days to bring those two sections into compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 3, 624 46th Street, CE 230100089.
Good morning. San Emil's Code Compliance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on January 11, 2023. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on January 11, 2023. Certified mail was signed for on January 13, 2023. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on January 13, 2023. I have not been in contact with the property owner. This property is being cited for not having a permit for installing a sprinkler system. Also, the landscape and the swale needed sod. As of, they got the sod in place before the due date. However, there's still no building permit, no sprinkler permit for installing a sprinkler. As of this morning, the property is partially in compliance. I do have the partial compliance photos right there. And we're requesting an additional 30 days and $200 if not complied.
Thank you very much, Officer Mills. Just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
There is.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
It is.
Thank you. The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you've observed at the property?
It does.
So based on the photographs from your pre-hearing inspection, is the alleged violation of 94442C1 landscaped areas must be grass? Is that now in compliance?
It is.
And how about 94442E landscaping?
In the swale, it is.
Okay, so those are in compliance. So it's just 105.1 that you believe is still outstanding
That is
because
correct.
of a lack of a permit for the sprinkler system. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And at no time, you said before you haven't had any contact, but still no contact at all?
No contact. I spoke to the neighbor who actually pointed out that they were installing the sprinkler system, so I'm guessing that they're close.
Okay, thank you. And do you believe that 30 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to obtain this required permit?
I do.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence of city's composite Exhibit 1. So if I see the pictures correctly, the sod is in.
Yes.
So the only thing outstanding at this point is the lack of a permit for installing the irrigation system.
That's correct.
All right. Are you seeking a finding of fact as to the first two sections?
No.
No. All right. And you wanted to give them 30 days or $200 a day?
To apply and get the permit for the sprinkler, yes.
You said you've had no contact with the owner at all?
That is correct.
All right, case CE 230100889, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 105.1, specifically the installation of an irrigation system without obtaining a permit. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue.
Number 4936 McIntosh Street, CE 23010-217.
Good morning. City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement, Rich Pasmino. This property was cited on January 24th. Certified mail was sent out January 25th. And in addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on January 25th. This property was cited for trash and debris on the property, trash cans stored in public view, landscape areas in the front yard must be grass, and outdoor storage. I've had no contact with anyone from this property, and as of yesterday, there has been barely any changes. All violations still exist. With that being said, the city's recommending 14 additional days to comply code sections 18106A, 7434A1H, and 9471C, or a fine of $100 a day be assessed. And we're asking for a split order for code section 94442C1, the grass. City's asking for 30 additional days or a fine of $100 a day.
So for the other three sections, 18106A, 7434A1H, and 9471C, you're seeking how long and for how much?
14 days or $100 a day.
Thank you, Officer Pasmino. Just a couple of questions. Does your file contain an executed affidavit of posting?
Yes, I completed that on January 25th and turned it in to be processed.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you've observed at the property?
Yes, they do.
And just briefly for the record, can you describe to us the alleged violations that you observed? You already talked about the trash can in public view, but can you just describe a little bit more about the others?
Yeah, so right there on the that would be the west side of the property. They just store the trash cans. They don't move from there. And on the west side, behind the hedge, on the east side, which would be the left of that picture, they just have junk. They right there it looks pretty good, but they have they just throw junk out there. No grass. The grass is dead. As of yesterday, there's reinspection photos. They still have some vegetation, some trash, some storage.
So would the trampoline be a part of what's not appropriate, or no?
It's fine. I think it's functional. I think it's maintained and
Excellent. Thank you.
working.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The 14 days and the 30 days, do you believe those are reasonable amounts of time within which to bring these alleged violations into compliance?
Yes, that's plenty of time.
Okay, thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents as evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. So all of these things are outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's barely been any change. It's new trash, so the old trash isn't there. But nothing has changed. No contact. There was a truck at one point, but like a commercial vehicle, but I haven't seen it since. I have cited them in the past, and they've taken care of different issues, but this time
So it's become a little bit of a cat and mouse game here?
yeah.
Yeah. All right, in case CE 2301017, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 7434A1H, and 9471C, specifically trash and debris on the property, garbage cans and recycling bins being stored in areas that are visible to the public, and outdoor storage in and around the property. On those sections, I give the respondent 14 days to bring the property into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I also find the property in violation of 94442C1, which is the front yard has dirt and not sod as required. I give the respondent 30 days to bring that into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 5 is complied, 1000 McIntosh Street, CE 230102118. Number 6 is complied, 425 Michigan Place, CE 230105151. Number 7, 938 37th Street, CE 230200085.
Good morning. J. Francis, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. This property was cited on 2/8/23. Certified and regular mail was sent on 2/9/23. Certified mail was received on 2/11/23. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 3/1/23. I have been in contact with the daughter of the property owner. She expressed that the property owner been in and out of the hospital. This property was cited for landscape maintenance, Swayland Parkway, outside storage, and unpermitted use. As of this morning, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 60 days for the property to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for an additional 50 days until compliance is achieved.
$50?
Yes, $50. I'm sorry, I said 50 days.
Okay. So thank you, Officer Francis. Just a couple of questions.
Sure.
Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
And could you take a moment and just tell us what it is that you observed at the property?
Well, there's a bit of bare area in the swale and right in front of the gate that they use to park the bikes in the back. They also have a shed that doesn't have a permit. That shed right there.
So that little shed that we're looking at the photo right now, that's in the back of the property that you
Yes.
can see from the front,
From the right of way.
from the front of the property.
Yes.
And what is it about the outdoor storage that you observed?
They had a couple of bikes parked all over.
A couple of
Dirt bikes.
dirt bikes. And have you seen any progress with housing the dirt bikes, putting them away, doing anything?
I spoke to the lady this morning as well. She said they're moved, but it was right before we came into hearing, so I haven't really seen it.
Okay.
So I'll probably go out today to see it, if that's true.
Okay. Do you believe 60 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring these alleged violations into compliance?
Yes, they have already applied for the permit for the shed, so I think 60 days is sufficient.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, the permit application alluded to, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents to evidence. The city's Composite Exhibit 1. So we have landscaping, and I assume that's the missing sod, both in the front and side
Yeah, that
yard.
little beer section right there, I guess they use that area to drive through the gate, the bikes through the gate. So over time, it
So
kind of,
I guess the vehicles are destroying the grass.
yeah, over time.
Let's see, okay, landscaping and, okay, so that's the gas and the swale, and that's the grass and the swale.
The swale and right in front, so that small area right in front of that gate, and then the swale
Yeah.
right there.
94.6, is that, I guess that's the shed back there?
Yes, and it needs to be permitted to get
And
one.
outdoor storage is the actual vehicles that are parked that we saw in a couple of those pictures?
Yes,
You want to give them 60 days or $50 a day?
yes, sir.
All right, in case CE 230200085, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106K, specifically the front, side, and rear yards need to be landscaped appropriately with grass. 94442E, the swale needs grass. 94.6, the shed needs to be properly permitted. And 94.71C, they cannot store those vehicles outside. They have to be stored appropriately and not in violation of outdoor storage. Responded to 60 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $50 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 8, 1741 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, Pacific Sunwear, CE 230200096.
Good morning, Officer Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on 2/9/2023 for failure to renew its business license and certificate of use. as well as BTR penalties. The business and City Hall was posted on 2/10/2023. Certified mail, which was mailed out, was returned on 2/21/2023. As of this morning, this business still has a balance owed to the city of $584.28. I've had no contact with anyone at the business whatsoever. So the city is requesting a one-time fee of $250 for 82-143C BTR penalties, and 10 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day thereafter.
Thank you, Officer Levine. Just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes.
And are we talking about Pacific Sunwear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And the photograph that we reviewed, is that an accurate and truthful depiction of posting of this notice of violation at that property for Pacific Sunwear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just to understand, you're looking for an immediate $250 one-time fine, and then an additional 10 days or $100 for the certificate of use required?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, thank you. Special Magistrate, by the way, did you observe that Pacific Sunwear is open and operating currently for business?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. Looks like an operating store to me, right, from your photograph?
It's in the mall, in the outlet mall.
I'm sorry?
It's based in the outlet mall on Palm Beach Lakes.
So you saw it open and operating?
So,
I assume you talked to somebody in there?
no. I just posted the property and left it.
And to this date, nobody's contacted you?
This day, no one has contacted me. On the very said day, I posted probably about 5 businesses, including Russ. And probably by the end of the week, the other businesses had already paid their renewal fees.
You sent certified mail to the property appraisers, the address of the property appraisers?
Yep, the address is at the outlet mall.
All right, KCE 230200096, to make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 2232A's certificate of use, being that there needs a certificate of use for the business, and 82144, the business tax receipt, which is past due. Give the respondent 10 days to bring those into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I further find the property in violation of 82143C, and issue a one-time fine of $250.
Number 9, 1741 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, E2225, Zumez Inc., CE 230200097.
This business too was cited for failure to renew its business tax receipt, certificate of use, and BTR penalties. This property was also posted on 2/10/2023. Certified mail was also returned on 2/21/2023. There's still a balance owed of $792.65 as of this morning. So the city is requesting a one-time fee of $250 for 82-143C, and 10 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day on 22-32-A, which is a certificate of use, which is required.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. Officer Levine, is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
And I apologize if I missed it. Was City Hall posted with the notice of violation? And does the affidavit...
Business and City Hall was posted, yes.
And does the affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, ma'am.
Just for the record, is this business Zoomies Inc.?
Yes.
Zoomies, okay. And the photograph that we reviewed, does that truthfully and accurately depict posting of this property, or excuse me, this business at this property for this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you been contacted by anyone?
No, ma'am.
Did you actually observe that this business was open and operating?
Yes.
All right. And have you seen any type of a progress, or even though they haven't contacted you?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay, thank you. And the notice of violation, was that provided per the pop-up printout?
Actually, that is provided through delinquent list
Okay.
and what's on file on the business tax application.
Okay. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photograph, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. So this is basically the same situation, right? This is a store that you saw opening and operating in the outlet malls.
Yes, sir.
You posted, sent certified mail, and they still haven't paid their business tax
Still have
receipt.
not paid their business tax.
All right. In case CE 230200097, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 2232A and 82144. Respondent has 10 days to bring those into compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. As to 82143C, I find a violation, issue one-time fine of $250.
Number 10, 5913 South Dixie Highway, Diamond Antique Oriental, CE 230200176.
This business was cited for failure to renew its business tax receipt, certificate of use, BTR penalties, and also evidence of engaging in a business. Now, let me explain the scenario about this particular business to you. This business was located at 3720 Dixie Highway and moved to 5913 South Dixie Highway. Reason how I got wind of this is that I spoke to the owner of Diamond Antique, who informed me that he moved to 5913 Dixie Highway, and I did that on February 11th. He promised me that he was going to renew the business tax receipt during the upcoming week. That did not happen. So I went ahead and cited the business at the address of 5913 South Dixie Highway, and also used 82151 for evidence of engaging in a business, because he told me that he was operating at that business. Now, when yesterday I called the business again and I spoke to the owner of Palm Beach Rug Gallery, who is also housed at 5913 South Dixie Highway. His name is Mustafa. And he told me that the owner of Diamond Antique Oriental Rug is aware of the violation because of the posting that I had on the business. And he was going to come in today to renew the business license because he was busy yesterday. So I informed him that I'm still going to take this forward today, just in case they do not come in and renew the business license, also to change the address of the business. Now, this property was also posted on 2/10/2020. Sorry, posted on 2/22/2023, and I've spoken to Mustafa and I've spoken to the owner of the business. So the city is requesting a one-time fee of $250 for 82-143C, and $100 a day thereafter for 22-32A, which is a certificate of use, and 82-151 for engaging in a business without a business license at that location.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of questions, Officer Levine, I appreciate it. Just for the record, is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
And was the notice of violation sent by regular and certified mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And was City Hall posted?
Yes.
And the photograph of posting, is that a truthful and accurate photograph of posting of Diamond Antique Oriental at 5913 South Dixie Highway?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you seeking for the for 2232A, were you seeking also 10 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photograph, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents as evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. This one is a little more complicated, huh? So he was operating this diamond antique oriental rug business
At
at
3720 South Dixie.
3720 and moved it to 5913.
Yes. So
But-
what he should have done is to renew the business tax receipt and also do a change of address.
And he didn't either.
He has not done either.
Okay, and so you want to give him 10 days
Yes,
to
sir.
do 82144, 2232A, and 82151?
Yes, sir.
All right. In case CE 230200176, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 82144, 2232A, and 82151, specifically not paying his business tax, not getting a certificate of use, and not updating the address on his business. Respondent has 10 days to come into compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. I also issue under 82143C a fine of violation, issue a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you.
Number 11, 1502 42nd Street, CE 23020046.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On February 2nd, the property at 1502 42nd Street was cited for unpaved parking, screen restricted vehicle or remove, excuse me, and outdoor storage. The property as well as City Hall was posted March 1st. Certified mail as well as regular mail went out February 6th. Certified mail was returned February 13th. However, I did make contact at the property at the time of posting, and I did have a conversation with the son of the property owner on the phone. We did go over the violations. As of yesterday, the property has come into compliance with the unpaved parking. The screen restricted vehicle has been complied. The only thing that remains is the outdoor storage. With that being said, the city's recommending 15 days to bring the property into compliance, or $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of questions, Officer McFarland. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
And with respect to the remaining violation, can you just briefly tell us what it is you observed that you believe makes it a violation?
There's a countertop that is leaned up against the front door. The original violation, he had some bricks along the east side of the home. He cleaned that up and decided to leave the countertop. So that's all that remains.
Okay. So he's made progress on that, but it's not fully.
Correct.
Okay. Are you seeking a finding of fact for either of the other two alleged violations that are now in compliance?
No.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And do you believe 15 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to remove that countertop?
More than enough.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents as evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. Case CE 230200046, to make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 9471C. Specifically, there is a countertop being stored near the front door. The respondent has 15 days to bring that property into compliance, or fine of $50 per day may issue.
Number 12, 2113 Ware Drive, CE 2302020.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On February 7th, the property at 2113 Ware Drive was cited for certificate of use, rental license violation, and unpaved parking. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted March 1st. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent February 10th. Certified mail was returned February 21st. City is requesting to strike the certificate of use and rental license violation due to no contact to prove enough evidence of rental. As of March 11th, the property did come into compliance, but however, the reinspection date was required March 9th. So city is recommending a finding of fact for the unpaved parking.
Thank you very much. Officer McFarland, just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs of the parking situation, are those truthfully and accurately depicting the alleged violations that you've observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
So those photographs showed multiple different vehicles at different times, and they came into compliance March 11th. Did you have any other inspection, or have you observed the property after March 11th? Are you seeing these vehicles again at all?
No, I have not observed them after March 11th.
Okay.
But as I stated, they were still there beyond March 9th, the required compliance date.
Okay. So just for the record, you're seeking a finding of fact?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those in evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. It's already... So the parking you're seeking a finding of fact of, tell me about the rental license issue.
I was unable to make contact with anyone representing the property to do a further investigation of the rental license violation. So that's why I'm striking it from the case.
So the only thing you're seeking at this point is the finding of fact related to the parking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, in case CE 230200120, I make the following findings of fact on the lifeline notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 9442A, but has since come into compliance, but after the required compliance date.
Number 13, 5200 Ashley River Road, CE 230200125.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On February 7th, the property at 5200 Ashley River Road was cited for fence repair. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted March 7th. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent February 10th. Certified mail was returned February 16th. However, I have been in contact with the Homeowners Association president, and they are requesting a little more time, 45 days to be exact. With that being said, city's recommending 45 days to bring the property into compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, Officer McFarland. Just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to make the record very clear that you posted the property, and subsequent to that, you have talked to the HOA president.
Correct, over the phone and in person.
Okay, and that HOA president acknowledged this particular notice of violation and alleged violation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violation that you observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. So it's just that one panel on this gate thing?
Yeah, but they're having a little shortcomings with the with manufacturing it. So between getting it reinstalled, the panels painted, and things of that nature, still a little more time. So that's why I'm requesting the 45 days.
Fair enough. In case CE 230200125, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 94-302A4, specifically fence and wall maintenance related to the fenced-in compactor. There, responded has 45 days to bring the property in compliance, or fine of $100 per day, Mayor.
Number 14, 3075 45th Street, CE 230202242.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On February 15th, the property at 3075 45th Street, which is the Wendy's, was cited for repeat violation, removal of banners and prohibited balloons. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted March 1st. Certified mail as well as regular mail went out February 21st. Certified mail was returned February 28th. The underlining code case is CE 21060306. This was a finding of fact that was issued on July 23rd, 2021. In that subsequent case, the reinspection was dated for June 18th, 2021. That subsequently came into compliance on June 28th, 2021. This same violation has occurred on this property again. The property has since come into compliance. It was out of compliance for approximately 13 days. With that being said, the city is recommending $100 a day for 13 days for $1,300 as a one-time fine for the repeat violation.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions, Officer McFarland. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations you've observed?
Yes, ma'am.
And just for the record, we were reviewing the underlying case order that was issued by Special Magistrate Wagner. Just for the record, does that case deal with 94402B2-2, which is the exact same one here today too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And also, just for the record, in the photos that we saw, we were seeing a big sign that was kind of standing up. Good bite and a burger or something. Is there any other signs, or was this the only one?
That was the only one at the time.
All right, very good. I may have missed it. Has there been contact with anybody?
Yes, I did make subsequent contact with the property manager of the owner of the property itself. I did make contact with the Wendy's manager at the time of posting as well. I did verbalize with the property manager that the city was going to be requesting a fine and what was going to take place here today.
Okay, and at the same time that you were talking to the manager, did you basically hand deliver the notice as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, the underlying case order, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept an evidence statement or case file in this case consisting of those documents as city's composite exhibit 1. So they put out another sign, huh? Even after the first time I told them not to, huh?
I mean, it's a constant battle with Wendy's. Yeah, this is like the fourth go around with them.
Well, let's see if this one will be the last. In case CE 230202242, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find this is a violation of 94402B.2-2 by putting out a sign in violation of that code section. This constitutes a repeat violation under City Code 2634B. It was out of violation for 13 days. I fine the respondent $100 per day for each day of that violation for a total fine of $1,300.
Thank you.
Number 15724 N Street, CE 230100177.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 724 N Street was originally cited January 19th, 2023. Regular and certified mail was sent out January 20th, 2023. That was received January 23rd, 2023. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on February 23rd, 2023, and an affidavit of posting was prepared and placed in the case file. To date, I have had contact with the owner. She was originally cited for 2232-A for certificate of use required and 22441 rental license required, and 94442C-1 for landscape areas needing to be sodded. To date, she's complied with 2232A and 22441. She did obtain her rental license. The scheduled inspection was passed and the license was granted. However, as far as 94442C-1, landscaped areas needing to be sodded, she is working to get that taken care of, and she has requested 30 days. The city has no objection to that, so the city will request 30 days to bring the property into compliance or a $50 a day fine thereafter.
Thank you very much, Officer Williams. Just a couple of questions. The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations you observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Just for the record, could you tell us a little bit about what you observed about the sod or the lack of sodding or ground cover?
So she had dug up the entire yard due to just in front of her there are very tall townhomes where she doesn't get any sunlight, so she felt that this was a better alternative. She did regret not getting the proper permits to get everything done. She did speak with planning and zoning, and they did tell her that the flower beds are allowable. She just has to basically plant more greenery in the front and remove the rocks from the swell and place sod there. So she's willing to do the work. She just needs a little time because she doesn't live here. I believe this is an Airbnb that she owns.
Okay. And even though she asked for 30 days, do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to get this work done?
Yes, ma'am. While I was there Monday doing a reinspection, she already had a lawn crew out there doing the necessary work.
Thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, included but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence as City's Composite Exhibit 1. In case CE 230100177, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 94442C1. The front area needs to be landscaped appropriate to the city, including grass. They've responded as 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $50 per day may issue.
Number 16726 N Street, CE 230100179.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 726 N Street was originally cited January 19th, 2023. Regular and certified mail was sent out January 20th, 2023, and that was returned January 28th, 2023. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on February 23rd, 2023, and an affidavit of posting was prepared and placed in the case file. I've had contact with the owner. She was originally cited for 110.1 for required inspections for the fence permit that's needed, 2232A for certificate of use, 22441 for the rental license required, 94302A-3 for the fence permit that's needed for the new fence that was constructed on the property, as well as 94442C-1 for the landscape areas on the front lawn needing to be sodded. I've had contact with the owner. She's working to get all of this excuse me, rectified. As of this morning, all violations are still current on the property. The homeowner has requested 90 days to get everything, bring everything into compliance. The city has no objection. So city requests 90 days to bring the property into compliance or a $100 a day fine thereafter.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. Is there an, excuse me, for the photographs, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you've observed at the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just tell us briefly what it is that you observed that you believe are violations?
So as we see in the previous picture, there's a new fence that was put up. The homeowner did admit to putting up a new fence. She didn't realize that there was a permit needed for that. She did admit to the home being an Airbnb. She also did not know she needed a rental license for that, as well as a license through the state to advertise it with Airbnb. And then the landscaping, again, just needs more greenery, and she too needs to remove the rocks that are in the swell by the parkway and replace it with sod. Like I said, she's willing to do all of the work. She just, for lack of a better term, didn't know that she needed to do all of this. She's actively working. She was here yesterday to apply for the permits that she needs. So I think 90 days would be sufficient.
Right. And just for clarity, would she be able to do sod or other approved ground cover, or just sod?
In the yard, per planning and zoning, she can put more plants, more shrubbery. By the parkway, after speaking to the arborist, he did mention sod would be needed there.
Very good. Thank you so much. And do you believe 90 days requested by the owner is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring these alleged violations into compliance?
Yeah, I think it's enough. She needs. I actually think she might need a little bit more time. I'm thinking maybe 120 days might be more sufficient, being that she still has to get her license through the state of Florida, as well as the rental license through the city, the permit for the fence, and then pass all inspections needed for that. So maybe 120 would be more suited for her to bring this into compliance.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
As Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence as City's Composite Exhibit 1. I don't really have anything to ask you. In case CE 230100179, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 110.1, a required inspection for the new fence that they put in, 2232A and 22441, a rental license and certificate of use for the rental business, 94302A3, a permit for the fence, and 94442C1, landscape areas must be landscaped in accordance with city requirements, including grass or more greenery in the front of the home. Respondent has 120 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 18142 North Robbins Drive, CE 2301028.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 142 North Robbins Drive was originally cited January 25th, 2023. Regular and certified mail was sent out January 26th, 2023. That was received January 28th, 2023. The property as well as City Hall was posted on February 23rd, 2023, and an affidavit of posting was prepared and placed in the case file. To date, I have had contact with the owner. He was originally cited for 7434A1J for his garbage can being in view of the public, 9471-C for outdoor storage of various items on the side of the home that were visible to the public, as well as 34102A for a junk or abandoned vehicle that he had parked in the driveway. As of this morning, 7434A1J and 34102A have been compliant. However, 9471-C is still out of compliance. The property owner requested 15 days to bring this into compliance. The city has no objection to that. So the city requests 15 days to bring the property into compliance or a $25 a day fine thereafter.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you observed at the property that, that are still outstanding?
Yes, ma'am.
And just for the record, can you just describe what it is in regards to the outdoor storage that you observed?
So there's various items right there on the side of the home that you can see. He did move the garbage can, but everything else on the side of the home is still present and is visible from the street. So he works construction during the day, so he just asked for additional time to get that taken care of.
Okay. And 15 days, is that a reasonable amount of time within which to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents and evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. Showing case CE 2301023A to make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 9471C. Specifically, there is outdoor storage, including auto parts and building materials. They need to be removed within 15 days or a fine of up to $25 per day may issue.
Thank you, sir.
Number 19, 2300 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. Number 219, The Green Street Journal, CE 230100316.
Okay, John Williams Code Enforcement. That one is compliant, Green.
Okay, number 20, 2300 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, 200G, Blue Rose Transport, LLC, CE 230100320.
Don Williams Code Enforcement. I cited this business for a business tax receipt and a certificate of use. I actually cited this property January 30th of 23. Certified mail sent on January 30th of 23. Property posted in City Hall on March 3rd of 23. No contact with the owners of the business. However, I did meet the UPS driver there, and he indicated that they are continually receiving deliveries, so they are actually operating at their location continuously. And my recommendation will be a one-time fine of $250 and also 30 days for the COU and $200 after that.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions for housekeeping. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes.
The photograph that we reviewed, does that truthfully and accurately depict the posting of this notice of violation for this particular property, business at this property?
Yes.
And is this business Blue Rose Transport, LLC?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents as evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. So you spoke to, so this is a transport business and they're still getting things to transport, essentially, is what you testified to?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so you're seeking a one-time fine of $250 for the violation of the certificate of use?
The certificate of use is $200 after 30 days. The business tax itself is one time $250.
I'm sorry, so $250 for the business tax and then 30 days to get the certificate of use, or a fine of $200 per day?
Yes.
And you've had no contact with the business?
None.
All right, CE 230100320, make the following findings of fact and law. Find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 2232A and 82144. As to 82144, issue a one-time fine of $250. As to 2232A, respondent has 30 days to come to compliance, or fine of up to $200 per day may issue.
Number 21 is complied. 2300 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. Number 215 CE 230100321. Number 22 is complied. 2300 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, 215L Reaping Time Outreach, CE 230100322. Number 2300 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. Number 214 Graceful Moving Group, CE 230100323.
Don Williams Code Enforcement, Graceful Moving Group, was cited on January 30th of 23. Certified mail sent out January 30th of 23. The property posted in City Hall March 3rd of 23.
I haven't had contact with the owner of the business. They have submitted the application to the city. However, it's not actually posted on the system as of today. So my recommendation would be to give them 30 days to have that done, the city, or a one-time fine of $100. They are backed up in the license department, so that's the reason for the, just the 30 days, just for the, application itself.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. Officer Williams, is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes.
And this is in regards to Graceful Moving Group?
Yes.
Is that accurate? Okay. And the photograph that we reviewed, does that truthfully and accurately depict the posting of this notice of violation for this case for Graceful Moving Group at this address?
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time to get that application processed?
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photograph, the application described, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept this document as evidence, the city's composite exhibit 1. So they're applying for the certificate of use and business tax receipt as of today?
No, they submitted it
They've-
weeks ago, but it's just not, they're backed up in the.
Did they submit that prior to or after the compliance date in your notice of violation?
After.
Okay. All right, in case CE 2301033, I make the following finding of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 2232A and 82144. As to 82144, issue a one-time fine of $250. As to 2232A, respondent has 30 days to come into compliance, or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue.
Number 24, 2300 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. Number 201 Mink DNC CE 230103325.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. I cited this business on January 30th of 23. Certified mail sent out January 30th of 23. Property posted in City Hall March 6th of 23. A contact has been made with the owner of the business on yesterday. She actually was operating at the location on yesterday. I spoke with her. She just have not had time to come and do it. So I told her I'll give her 30 days to do so, or it'll be a fine of one-time fine of $250 and 30 days for the COU at $200 for the COU. But my recommendation is to delay the one-time $250 until the 30 days as well as the ongoing COU.
Okay, thank you very much. Officer Williams, is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes.
And this is in regards to Mink DNC, is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And the photograph that we reviewed, does that truthfully and accurately depict the posting of this notice of violation for Mink DNC at this particular address for this case?
Yes.
And just to be clear, were you saying to give her, okay, so number one, she admitted that she's operating currently this particular
I watched
business.
her do it yesterday.
I'm sorry?
I've actually seen her doing it yesterday. She's doing facials.
Okay.
So yeah, I was there.
But she understood, does she understand what it is that,
What she needs to do?
that she's in alleged violation for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she does.
So are you asking to give her 30 days to also pay the $250?
Yeah, for that to come into effect.
Okay. And
After
then,
the 30 days.
and then the $30 and $200, okay.
Yes.
Very good. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photograph, and any and all other documents relied upon.
All right, in case CE 230103325, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation 2232A. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance with that, or a fine of $200 per day may issue. As to 82144, find the business tax is needed, and hereby assess a fine of $250 and give 30 days to pay.
Thank you.
Number 25 is complied. 2300 Public Lakes Boulevard, 207 First United Security, CE 230103328. Number 27 5503 Pinewood Avenue, CE 2301071.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited January the 19th. Certified mail was sent January the 20th. Certified mail was returned January 26th. City Hall was posted January the 25th. This property was cited for trash and debris, and permit for a shed in the rear. Compliant violations, as of yesterday, were trash and debris. Remaining violation would be the permit for the shed in the rear. I myself had gotten flagged down by a local resident that said someone was living in the back shed. I haven't been able to prove it, but every time I've passed by there, there's been the door cracked open and a lady has come out and started walking around, and then when she sees me leave, she goes back in. I did notice that there is a key as well. You can see the locks. There's a deadbolt on the top, and there's 2 house doors on it. But like I said, I'm not able to, to prove that someone's living there, but it does look like that, and with the air conditioning in the window of the shed. So in this, the city is requesting 30 days for the permit, or 150 days per after.
Thank you very much. Officer Watkins, is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes, there is.
And does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, it does.
And was the notice of violation posted at the property?
Yes, it was.
The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violation that you observed?
Yes, ma'am.
And with respect to the shed, regardless of whether somebody may or may not be living in there, just the fact that there's a shed in the backyard, does that mean it has to be permitted?
Yes, ma'am. It's on a concrete slab. It's never had a permit for it.
Okay, thank you very much. And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring this alleged violation into compliance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And just to be very clear, still no contact from the owner or anybody else representing the owner?
No, not at all. When I stopped by to take pictures, like I said, the lady came out there, and the tenant from the actual house was out there, and she never spoke or said anything, so.
Okay, thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents to evidence, the city's composite exhibit 1. So there's 2 buildings on this property. One is a house and one is a shed, right?
Yes.
All right, and you were flagged down by a resident in the area?
Yeah, there's a neighbor a few houses down that said, her words, this lady's been throwing feces and urine down the drain, and she's living in the back shed. And then once I passed by there, just to take a look, I saw there was a actual deadbolt lock in the key on there and the air conditioner running in the window. Then further looking into it, I saw that there was never a permit for the shed to be there, but just that alone, I couldn't prove that someone was actually living in there. So I did create the violation for the trash and debris, which I noticed outside, as well as a shed that wasn't permitted.
Okay. Well, that's an odd one, huh?
Yep.
But there's no permit on record for the shed that's in the back of the
Not at
property,
all.
whether someone's living in it or not.
Yes, sir. There's not.
All right, CE 2301017, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 105.1, which is there is a unpermitted structure in the rear of the property. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property into compliance or fine of $150 per day may issue.
Number 28, 634 55th Street, CE 2301017.
City of West Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited January the 19th. Certified mail was sent January the 20th. Certified mail was returned February the 27th. City Hall was posted January 25th. This property was cited for trash and debris, excessive growth, sodding of the yard, outdoor storage, and remove appliance doors. Compliant violations as of yesterday were removing of the appliance and excessive growth. Remaining violations are trash and debris, sodding of the yard, bare areas, and outdoor storage. The city is requesting 30 days at $100 per day after until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, Officer Watkins. Just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes.
Does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, it is.
And was the notice of violation posted at the property?
Yes, it was.
The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you've observed?
Yes, it is.
Could you just take a moment and tell us for the record what it is you observed that you believe are violations?
All of that outdoor storage, that's right there. It's in the front and the back. There's numerous washer machines. There's countertops out in the front. There's buckets and things across the yard in the front as well that you can see from the side. The yard has, there at the time it was overgrown. Now they have cut it, but there's still bare areas in the middle of the yard, just to the east where there needs to be sod planted. There's just bare grass at this point from all the stuff being sitting out there.
Excellent, thank you. And have you had contact from anybody at the property?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring this, these alleged violations into compliance?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents as evidence as city's composite exhibit 1. So there's trash and debris, there's absence of sod, and then there's what looks like a junkyard behind the house.
Yeah, they seem to move it from the west side to the east side where you can barely see it. It just fluctuates from one side to the next.
But it's still there.
Yes, still there.
Okay. All right, in case CE 2301017 I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation of 18106A. Specifically, there is trash and debris scattered along the property. 9442C1, that areas of the property are missing sod and landscaping. And 9471C, that there's a lot of outdoor storage, including what looks like equipment and supplies that need to be removed. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 29 is complied, 523 48th Street, CE 230103339. Number 30, 643 49th Street, CE 230103552.
City of West Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins says property was cited January the 25th. Certified mail was sent January the 31st. Certified mail was returned February the 5th. City Hall was posted January the 25th. This property was cited for rental license, certificate of use, garbage can placement, junk vehicle, and numbering standards. All violations as of yesterday are still current. The city is requesting 30 days at $100 per day after.
Thank you. Just a few questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes.
Does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes.
And was the notice of violation posted at the property?
Yes, it was.
The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you observed?
Yes, it does.
With respect to the rental license, we saw a picture of the property advertised for rent. Is that your testimony that that advertisement is for this particular property?
Yes, I also called him and I asked how much it was for rent. She told me it was $1,900 a month. I asked her, was it the whole house or a section? She said it was a whole house. And she said it will be available if you would like to come and take a look at it. I just never gave her a date to come take a look at it.
Okay, thank you. And with respect to the junk or abandoned vehicle, what is it about the vehicle or vehicles that makes them junk or abandoned?
The first vehicle was moved, which was the Honda that was on the brake. It seems like the whole control arm was missing on the driver's side. The second vehicle that's left is the other vehicle, the Oldsmobile, that was parked behind it. It still has flat tires. It still has registration that's not current, and it's still sitting in the exact same spot.
Okay, and the garbage can placement, you can see the empty garbage can from the road when it's not supposed to be there. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it for the numbering standards?
There's no address on as you see there, nowhere around it, there's an address. The only address is on the mailbox itself that's by the road.
Thank you very much. And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time within which to bring these alleged violations into compliance?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I'll accept those documents as evidence. The city's composite exhibit 1. So we have it being offered for rent with a sign. Clearly can see the junk or abandoned vehicles. Garbage can I can see. The number standards, that's still in violation? They're not posted on the...
Yeah, there's none on the home whatsoever.
$1,900 a month, huh?
Yeah, it was $1,900 a month when I called, yeah.
Man, it's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say.
All right, well, that's an observation for another day. All right, in case CE 23010352, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 2232A and 22441. Specifically, there's no certificate of use or rental license for a property being offered for rent. I find the property in violation of 34102A, that there are junk, basically inoperable vehicles being parked on the property, and 7434A1J, that the garbage can is in public view, and 78-6, that there are no number, standards, or address characters posted on the house as required. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day issue.
Number 31, 701 55th Street, CE 2301036.
City of West Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on January the 31st. Certified mail was sent February the 1st. Certified mail was received February the 3rd. City Hall was posted February the 13th. This property was cited for trash and debris, excessive growth, and garbage can placement. Compliant violations as of yesterday are garbage can placement and excessive growth. Remaining violations are the trash and debris on the property. The city is requesting 25 days at $50 per day after.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of questions. Is there an executed affidavit of posting in your file?
Yes.
Does that affidavit reflect that the notice of violation was also sent by regular first-class mail?
Yes, it does.
And was the notice of violation posted at the property?
Yes, it was.
The photographs that we've been reviewing, do they truthfully and accurately depict and represent the alleged violations that you've observed at the property?
Yes, it does.
Could you take just a moment and tell us for the record what it is you observed that you believe makes these violations?
There's trash and debris all outside the swell line and the property. The garbage cans were visible from the street, and the excessive growth we could see in the last images were just, it was all over the property. They hadn't cut it since the new owners have purchased it.
Okay. And for the two alleged violations that were brought into compliance, are you seeking a finding of fact?
No, ma'am. Well, now just the trash and debris, just the 25 days, I do have faith that they would actually receive the information and have someone pick up the trash, just because of the fact they also did the cleaning and cutting of the yard as well.
Thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the case file, including but not limited to the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, photographs, and any and all other documents relied upon.
Without objection, I will accept those documents as City's Composite Exhibit 1. So if I understand correctly, the only thing at issue now is the trash and debris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're seeking 30 days or $25 per day?
25 days at $50 per day after.
Sorry, definitely heard that wrong. So 25 days or $50 per day. 25 is a weird number. Why 25? We usually do like 15 or 30.
You know, it's in New Year, you know.
Okay. All right, CE 2301036 to make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, specifically there's trash and debris littered on the property. I give them 25 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue.
Number 32 is complied. 5213 Spruce Avenue, CE 2301039. Number 33 is complied. 627 56th Street, CE 2301039.
Guess that's just to the other matters, huh? All right, so we're going to adjourn until, what are we scheduled for, 11:30?
Yes.
All right, we are going to adjourn till 11:30.
But you said everybody signed in, right? Okay. Oh, yeah, the designated form. Did you come up with a designated agent form or something else? Are you here for 10 Adam? You have the designated agent form? Yes. We're ready. Everyone's here.
West Palm TV, 30 seconds, please.
All right, I hereby call this to order. This is the Special Magistrate Other Matters agenda for the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for City of West Palm Beach. Cases will be called in the order in which they appear on the agenda. When you hear your case called, go ahead and proceed directly to the podium on my right-hand side. The city will introduce the case, after which time you'll have an opportunity to explain to me what you are asking me for and what I should and why I should grant it to you. It's important that you remember those two questions, which is you have to ask me for something, and you have to explain why I should grant that to you. Please keep in mind that I am bound by the codes of the City of West Palm Beach, which means, for example, if you're asking me for a reduction of fine, it has to be something consistent with the requirements of the city code on reductions of fine. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means that the formal rules of evidence do not apply here, but all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify today, or you think that you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'd ask that you rise and raise your right hand and be sworn in. Anyone that's going to testify? You have to stand up. All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Yes. All right, please be seated. The city can call the first case.
First case number 1816 LA Kirksey Street, CE 200500005.
Good morning. Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on May 1st, 2020 for failure to secure a building permit and the required inspections. Property was taken to hearing January 6, 2021 and was given an additional 60 days or $50 a day until compliance was achieved. Property was out of compliance for 460 days, resulting in a lien amount of $23,000. Special Magistrate, this is a new owner, so the city's seeking 15%.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Matthew Scott. I'm an attorney at the law firm of Dene Miskell and Backman with an address of 14 Southeast 4th Street in Boca Raton. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, or applicants, I should say.
I'm sorry, who are you here on behalf of?
The property owners.
And their name is?
Margarita Rentis Ramirez, Jimmy Ramirez, and Balbina Rentis.
So tell me what you're asking me for and why I should grant it to you, sir.
Yes, Special Magistrate, we are respectfully requesting a reduction of the total fine amount down to 5%. The basis for the request, or rather the story behind this, I think is helpful here. The prior owner that owned this property spent considerable amount of money improving this dilapidated house. That's separate from the code violations, but it's important as background. During that process, they were looking to replace windows, some other features. I believe the contractor did it without permits and they were cited. Remediating the unpermitted work normally is not a big deal, but they ran into a storm of sorts because of COVID. Getting the proper windows, the hurricane-rated windows for this old historical home was a nightmare because of the worldwide supply chain issues. I know COVID is thrown around a lot. That goes without saying, but in this case, it genuinely was a real problem because of the worldwide supply chain issues of getting these proper hurricane-rated windows took them over a year. Add that to the fact that their contractor got COVID and quit the job, so they had to get a new contractor. And then the contractor they hired as a replacement had trouble with the permitting. These are all sort of common stories, but they were, I believe, exacerbated by COVID. And so once they finally came into compliance, the prior owner sold to these new owners who, again, an important consideration here, did not commit any of the violations, were not culpable. They were aware of the violations, but they didn't do any of the unpermitted work. And so to sort of summarize, prior owner did expend over $100,000 improving a dilapidated property, which is an important factor to consider in the grand scheme of things. The prior owner did run into a perfect storm of sorts because of COVID, getting hurricane impact windows for sort of a historic house. And then the new owners, of course, didn't do any of this, but most importantly, I think one of the considerations under Florida law in looking at fine reductions is sort of the gravity of the violation. And so we're dealing with unpermitted work for windows. So with that being said, we certainly appreciate staff's request that it be reduced to 15%. We would respectfully request it be reduced to 5% so as not to overly punish these new owners. Thank you for allowing me to sort of give my story here.
Gravity of the violation is one of the issues in 2639 that the special magistrate is supposed to consider, though generally permitting is considered a relatively high gravity issue, mostly because permitting is for safety, not just of the homeowner, but of the surrounding property. So,
yes, fair. I would agree with that. However, the permitting here was for windows, not for what would traditionally be considered life safety issues. But the point is well taken that in general terms, right, doing things without building permits is certainly frowned upon and a violation. I just mean that we weren't dealing with public nuisance or some of the more major life safety considerations.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, we don't want to minimize this as saying that it was just a window or repair that were done. The property was cited, the work without permit that was being performed were building, electrical, and mechanical. There were windows, remodeling of the rear structure, new AC condenser, electrical items were being done as well. So it was not just the windows that were being done. And I understand the impact of COVID and having supply chain issues, but some of this was already started pre that, and they just got caught in the act of doing some of the work, and that's what added onto it. But we can't just charge it up to this was a minimal impact to the neighborhood when we're performing work like that. Anything could have happened, and even here there's a note from the inspector. There were possibly plumbing work performed as well without the required permits. So they were hit with literally every building violation you could think of under this.
I'm not particularly looking to sort of litigate the violations. I just don't think the fact that someone said there maybe was plumbing should be something we should consider, because they could have cited them for that before any of our involvement.
All right, so the city has offered 15%. If my quick calculation here would be 3,450. You've asked for 5%, which is 1,250. I tell you what I will do, considering that the property has been brought into compliance and your client was not the one that did the issues, I'll reduce it to 10%, which is $2,300. How much time do you need?
Is 60 days okay, or is there a standard amount for payment?
60 days is fine.
Thank you very much.
2,300, 60 days.
Appreciate it.
Here's a copy of the order.
That was fast.
We are swift here.
I've never seen that before. This is a great idea.
Number 2 and 3 are both for 1010 Adams Street, CE 210901313 and CE 200100086.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. Case CE 210901313 was cited on September 24th, 2021 for failure to comply, violations, garbage can placement, excessive overgrowth, and landscape maintenance. Property was taken to hearing on October 20, 2021. The magistrate ordered 7 days to abate the property of all overgrowth violations and $25 a day for the garbage can placement violation. The property was out of compliance for 266 days, resulting in a lien amount of $6,650. Special Magistrate, at the time of this violation, the applicant was the current owner, so the city is seeking 25%.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Number
ahead.
3 is also done. Is it 3 or?
Oh, is there
Yeah.
more than one?
Yeah, more than
2
one.
and 3.
Yeah, number 3 is also done. So case CE 20010086 was cited on January 7, 2020 for failure in having a clean and sanitary property, not having obtaining a rental license, certificate of use, garbage can placement, garbage litter and refuse, parking requirements, servicing of the driveway, and outdoor storage. Property was taken to hearing on March 4, 2020, where a split order was given on this property for code sections 18106A, 7434A1J, 9471C. Property was given 15 days or 200, oh, hold on. Okay, sorry, let me repeat that. For code sections 18106A, 7434A1J, and 9471C, the property was given 15 days or $200 a day to comply. For code sections 18162A and 2232A, an additional 30 days or $200 a day to comply, and another 60 days or $200 a day for code sections 9442A and 9445E. Code sections 18106A was out of compliance for 853 days, resulting in a lien amount of, give me a second here, resulting in a lien amount of $170,600. Code section 9482A was out of compliance for 1,010 days, resulting in a lien amount of $202,000. Special Magistrate, at the time the applicant was not the owner, the city is seeking 15%.
All right, let me try again. Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Sheena Montgomery.
Sheila Mahoney?
No, Sheena Montgomery.
One more time on the last name.
Montgomery.
Montgomery, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't hear as well as I used to. And what is your relation to this property, ma'am?
I am just a representative agent speaking on the behalf of Ashley Jackson with AJ Products and Services.
An agent of what kind? You're not are you an attorney?
No, I'm just representing her today, and she was not able to be here.
She's the designated agent by the applicant to appear for the lien reduction.
All right, fair enough. So tell me what you're asking for and why I should grant it to you.
They're asking for the liens to be waived. When they purchased the property, they were not aware of the liens that were tied to the property, and they have been trying to get things up to standards and up to par, which has been over $24,000 with getting it up to par ignorantly. You know, they ignorantly came into the situation unaware of like the liens and the fees that were associated with it, and so they have exhausted their funds at this point. They don't have any more money to continue to pay any extra fees. So if it can be waived, we're just asking for grace. We know that we take responsibility for going into it ignorantly, but however, they were not aware at the time. So they've just been working hard just to get it to where it is now. And they've already invested like $24,000 into getting everything up to par.
Well, I can't waive the fines, and I bet you can probably figure out why, which is right, because if every new owner that took over a property, you know, could just waive the fines, then the fines would be meaningless, right? People would just transfer the property, and then code enforcement would have no meaning whatsoever. And this is significant fines. I mean, you have $372,000 in fines, so that's just not something that I'm prepared to do. I mean, I would be prepared to take an offer. The city has offered to reduce it to 15%, which is what?
Well, the first one's 15%, which would reduce the 6,650 to 1663 in total. And for the case number 3, I'm so sorry. For number 2, we were seeking 25% because they were the owner at the time of that violation, and 15% for the fines associated with case number 3 because they were not our owner at the time.
So what are those numbers?
So for the 170,600, we're asking for it to get reduced to 25,590. For the balance of 202,000, we're asking for it to get reduced to $30,300. So in total, $55,890.
And the first one, the 25% of 6,650?
1660, rounded up 1,663.
So the city has made what I think is actually a pretty decent offer, which is to reduce the 6,000, which is when when the current owner owned the property, there was a $6,000 fine, 6,650. They've agreed or offered to reduce that to $1,663, and the $372,000 fine they've offered to reduce to essentially $55,809, right?
Mm-hmm. $890, if I did it
Those
right.
are pretty substantial reductions.
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure what would be like. I know they have exhausted their funds at this point. They really don't have the money. They've tried their best they struggled to get it to where it is now. So whatever the minimum we can have to pay, that's all we're asking at this point.
I mean, what I would be willing to do is I'll reduce the first case to 1,500 even, and I'll reduce the second case to 10%, which would be 37 to, let's just say 37 even.
Mhm.
So that is what I'm willing to do. I can give you time.
Okay.
How much time do you need?
What's the minimum and the maximum?
The maximum? I don't know. There is no maximum. You just have to ask.
So I'll say about 6 months.
I'll give you the 180 days.
Sorry, what is the
Just, you know,
second?
just because it's, you know what I'll do on this. On case 3, I'm going to reduce that to straight 25K. Just because I think the amount is so high.
Yeah, you gotta break, I guess, what you were gonna ask
Go
us
ahead.
to break it down for the two.
Well, that's a good point, but I just wanted to make sure that the respondent or the applicant as the designated agent, that they understand if they don't pay in full by the end of that deadline, it reverts back to the original amount of the lien. So make sure that you're asking for enough time.
So can we do a year?
No, yeah, we're fine with that.
All right. So in case CE 210901313, I'll reduce that to $1,500, payable within 365 days. And in case CE 20100086, I'll reduce it as follows. The $170,600, I'll reduce that to $10,000, and the $202,000 I'll reduce to $15,000, payable within 365 days.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Because there's two different numbers, I wanted to add up to 25.
Okay, so you,
10 and 15.
okay.
So what's the total?
So 25 for case number 3 and 1,500 for case number 2. So 26,500.
500.
Okay. Thank you.
Which is very, very large reduction.
I appreciate it.
Lots of time. So I hope I hope you guys are able to take advantage of this, because remember, if you don't do it within that time frame, it reverts to the original amount, which is, as we pointed out, very, very high.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Here's a copy of the order. Number 4, 1541 6th Street, CE 1706013.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. KC 1706013 was cited on June 8th of 2017. The property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Property was taken to hearing on August 16, 2017, and was given an additional 30 days or $100 a day for compliance. Property was out of compliance for 1,893 days, resulting in lien amount of $189,300. Special Magistrate, the applicant is the same owner that caused the violation. City is seeking 25%.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, John Scalia.
Sir, and what is your relationship to the owner of this property?
I handle all their fines and violations. I'm a Realtor representative for them.
Do we have any documentation to that effect?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Monique has it.
Yeah.
Should I-
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you,
All right,
sir.
just want to make sure that
Yeah.
you're authorized to speak on the
You
matter.
guys are all looking at each other like, oh my God, I'm scared.
Well, it's important. I have to make sure that you're authorized to
No,
speak
no,
on
I
your behalf.
understand. Thank you.
All right, so tell me what you're asking for and why I should grant it.
Basically, they're in California. They actually moved, and probably a lot of paperwork got lost. I'm not in the right department, so it is a significant amount of fine for the rental license. They did, they are in compliance. They did it. They're willing to pay pretty quick if we can get it down to about 5% or so.
Well, the city has offered 25%, which is what?
47,000 and change,
Yeah, $47,325.
and 98 cents. No, I'm just kidding.
So make me an offer. Apparently, I'm being generous today.
I see that. I mean, I'm okay with like 8,500.
Well, even 10% would get you to 19,000, so 8,500 seems like,
So, I mean, if extra to 5%, can we split it and go 7?
I'd go 10.
All right, I'll take you 10. I'm pretty fair.
How much time you need?
I mean, if I say I can pay it in the next 10 days, can I go lower?
No, but I'll give you,
Yeah,
I'll
just
give
give
you
me a
30
month,
days.
but it'll get paid in 10 days.
All right.
We have the money there waiting for us to pay, so,
30 days.
thank you.
19,000, correct?
No, 10.
10, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
8,800 or something?
18,930, is that
I heard 10%,
18,930, is that?
oh yeah, he said 10%.
Yeah.
18,930.
30. Just want to make sure, let me write it down again.
930. 18,930.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
And
Last
number
but not least.
5, 1400 7th Street, CE 220100184.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. KCE 220-10184 was cited on January 12, 2022.
It's my writing and I put it.
Property was cited for failure to secure a building permit, required inspections, cleaning up of the right-of-way, having a dangerous driveway, fence permits, fence and wall maintenance, parking requirements, and removing prohibited vehicles. Property went to hearing on March 2nd, 2022. Property was given 45 days or $50 a day to achieve compliance. Property was out of compliance for 147 days, resulting in a lien amount of $7,350. This is the same owner. City is seeking 25%.
Sir, can you tell me your name and what you're asking me for and why I should grant it to you?
My name is Steve Evans. I'm asking for a 5% reduction. The reason for that, when I wasn't aware of the fine until I was notified by the bank, and so that's when I know about it. And as soon as I heard about it, I stepped into action to take care of it immediately.
So your name is?
Steve Evans.
And you're the owner of the Evans Group LLC?
Yeah.
And you're telling me that you didn't know about your fine, is that it?
I didn't get any in the mail. We rent the property, so the vehicle and so most of the stuff which was done was by the client, and the violation had went there and they didn't notify us.
It's important, especially if you're going to own property in any municipality, that when you get notifications, the notifications are always going to go to the name and address on the property appraiser's records.
Yeah, but
So-
it did not came to our address.
Yeah, but for the city's purposes, if they mailed it to the address that's listed in the property appraiser's records, they did proper notice. And I'm sure their position ultimately would be that it's your responsibility to make sure that there's an appropriate address in the records. Otherwise, how are they supposed to fine you? You can see why that would be a problem, right? Because everyone would just hide.
Yeah, so since that happened, we take the necessary step to update all the information on the property, so.
All right, so what are you asking me for here, sir?
I'm asking for a 5% reduction.
What'd the city offer here?
25%, which was 1,837.50, but
And you're asking me for 5%?
$367.50.
What is that?
$367.50.
Well, since 10% seems to be my number today, I would be willing to reduce it to $735.
Okay.
How much time do you need?
If you guys take card, I can pay it with the card now, or I'll ask my wife to get a check out.
How much time do you need?
Within 30 days.
All right. 735, 30 days.
Thank you.
I believe, if my math's correct, that is it for us, right? All right. We're adjourned.
Thank you, sir.